All right. Good day, traders. Welcome back to the live trading room, New York session. Let me know if you guys can see my screen, hear my voice. Welcome to you guys checking it out on the live stream as well, where we broadcast the first, whatever, a couple of minutes. Perfect. Hey, we got a slow day in the markets. We got a middle of the summer day. Whoa, sorry about that. Did not mute the laptop. But we got a middle of the summer day. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a viewer choice today. I can fix the names. Thank you, George. Here we go. So it doesn't say someone. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I clicked new attendee notification instead of enable for all attendees. But yeah, we're going to do a viewer's choice day today because I've got nothing on the radar. I went through about 28 pairs or so, and there's really nothing that interests me today. From a swing trading perspective, we'll look around at some lower time frame stuff, see if there's anything there. I do have a pound yen on the radar. We got it's a bull Gartley that's inside that ascending triangle that we spoke about yesterday. I wish it was a bat because it's a very shallow Gartley. It has completed, but the risk reward and the risk profile in general is a little bit too big for my liking. So I needed to kind of travel down a little bit more. I need to go down to about 50 more pips in order for me to get triggered. So that's one thing that's on the radar, but we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, it's a Friday on a Thursday in the middle of the summer. It's a blah type of day. We do have Fed Chair Powell testifying again for a second time this afternoon, though. But I'll buy some more time for YouTube to kind of get in the right idea. It looks like we have one already. Euro. There's a question on Euro Aussie, so we'll get there. But I got an interesting question. Speaking of pound yen, yesterday from one of our clients, and he said, "Hey, Keel, loved the session yesterday. Didn't even see the pound yen ascending triangle. One of my favorite patterns. Blah 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 blah. I like it." And then he went on to give me a little bit of a rant about how his trading journey was going, and I love it. I love being there's not a lot of people we can talk to about trading, as you guys can agree. So I kind of like being the the pillow that people can scream into sometimes. I get it. I've been there. But the trader mentioned something interesting. So he's been dealing with back testing. He's been talking to myself, talking to Charles, and the tedious nature of it. And he mentioned that he needs to do an accountability session, but he is afraid to do an accountability session because of judgment or how he thinks he'll be judged. He thinks he'll be embarrassing. And I ask you guys in here, right? How many of you guys have done or seen an accountability session? Right? Has there ever been a time where someone laughs at you and says, "Oh, that guy's an idiot," or "she's horrible," or "she's stupid," right? No. Now, I don't know the past of this trader. Typically, when there are present fears, they come from past experiences, and we know that trading forums aren't the best place out there. You guys know my story about first time. I was in a trading forum for a long time, like a fly on the wall. I never said anything. I just sat and watched. And one time I finally had the guts to share an idea and I shared it. I was all excited. And then as soon as I shared it, someone kind of knocked it down right away. They were like, "Ha ha ha ha, why would you think that?" And like all my confidence was shot. I ended up taking off the trade and then it ended up doing what I thought it would do. But again, I was spineless and whatever. So there are those experiences out there. But again, we had a conversation yesterday about real traders and how real traders think and real traders operate. And any real trader, right? I'm not talking about your people out there that are lying or people that are gambling. Any real trader understands how hard this is. Any real trader understands how hard this is. It is simple, right? You find a strategy with an edge, you execute that edge consistently with risk management protocols. Not easy by any means. It's extremely hard. And I've never seen a real trader make fun of another real trader. When I say real trader, doesn't have anything to do with you being profitable, but someone who is serious about becoming good at the craft, someone who is serious about getting better. I've never seen it. And I've been doing this for 16 years. I've never seen it. I've seen fake traders do it. I've never seen a real trader. And hopefully this trader is listening to this recording, seeing how he listens to the recordings. And I want to say this, you need to get in there. The same conversation I had with another client who was complaining about kind of not seeing the success he wanted, even though we later found out that he hasn't actually gone through the courses yet. You need to get in that accountability session. You need that one-on-one time. You need that chance to vent. You need that chance to explain. You need that chance to have one-on-one time with a professional trader and have him critique you. You need to get those questions answered. And my question for you is, are you going to let embarrassment stop you? This is no different than the overweight person or the super skinny person that has a goal, a New Year's resolution to get into the gym and lose weight or put on muscle, right? The thing is this, if your goal is to lose weight or put on muscle, and part of that goal is going to the gym and getting involved in a consistent exercise and lifting routine, if you're too embarrassed to go to the gym because of how you look, are you ever going to complete that goal? Think about it. Think about it. If your goal requires that you take this action, right? Goals, tactics, we work backwards, right? If your goal requires that you take these actions and you're too embarrassed to take the actions, will you ever achieve your goal? No. And Bobby said, I was nervous, or I think most of us were nervous during our first accountability sessions, but I'm so glad afterwards. Yeah, and we're going to be nervous, right? We're going to be nervous. Anything in life, when you're going to a new school, when you're joining a new club, when you're part of a new team, you're going to the gym for the first time, and you walk in there and you're afraid to be in your tank top because people are going to look at your arms and judge you. And then you realize this. No one cares. No one cares. Why? Because everyone at the gym, well, maybe not everyone. I worked at a gym for a very long time. There are some posers there. There's a group of ladies that are there strictly to find husbands. Trust me, I know. They told me. We had a really good relationship. I worked at the front desk and they told me their goals. They said, Akil, I'm going to get right up this front treadmill and I'm going to pick me a man. So there are people like that. But for the most part, I'm going to find me a man, honey. I'm like, okay, you go ahead. Go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead. Go ahead, girl. Right? But for the most part, everyone's there for the same reason. They want to make some type of improvement. And if anything, they're going to applaud you for the effort. I did the same thing when I ran my marathons, right? I'm not a marathon runner. But you go to a marathon, you see people of all shapes and sizes. And no one's like, ha, 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 that person finished last. The thing is, congratulations, you finished. You finished. And you finished something that most other people will never even start. So you've got to put that embarrassment to the side. No one's going to judge you. Nobody cares. And especially for the tier 1 trading environment. Again, I can't speak for other environments out there. Everyone here is so helpful. We had a meeting the other day and we were kind of shocked because typically whenever we implement new things, we always ask ourselves, how is it going to affect the community? How is it going to affect the community? We don't want to put a cancer into the culture. And we're thinking, we really haven't had anyone that we had to kick out. We haven't really had it. And the community polices itself. But there's been no kind of bad apples. There's every once in a while, there's someone that's like, hey guys, I'm going to make money really, really quick. And then they get schooled and they find out this is not the place for them. But there haven't really been any bad apples, or at least that is, Daryl says 1 in 2018. Here we go. We might be talking about the same person. But the point is, you got to trust yourself. You got to trust your community. You have to look at your goals. You have to look at what it's going to take to achieve your goals. And you have to be shameless about doing it. Because 5 years, 10 years, you're going to look back and none of that stuff is going to matter. Or like Bobby said, you're going to be so glad you did it. Because that was the spark. That was the spark that lit the fuse for the rest of your trading career. So I hope you're listening. I'm going to respond to your email anyway and tell you to listen once we're done here in the live room. For the live room for the day. But yeah, you got to do it. And that goes for anyone else out there as well. I know I'm talking to clients right now, but anyone else out there as well, you got to be shameless, man. If you got a goal, who cares? I can't tell you how many people laughed at me when I told them I wanted to be a professional trader. Everyone. My dad. Even my dad. I mean, he lied and said that he was supportive, which is what dads are supposed to do, but he didn't believe me. No one believed me. I think my wife was the only one, my wife and my best friend. My best friend doesn't count because he's the one that got me into trading. So we were on the same page. But everyone laughed. And it reflected in my trading because I had no confidence in myself. I was afraid to tell people what I did. People would ask, hey, what are you doing now that you're out of college? I'm trading. I had no confidence in myself. I had no confidence. I was embarrassed of what I was doing, and I had no confidence in the market. And it wasn't until I read a Tony Robbins book and got all self-empowered and stuff like that. Started those affirmations and yelling at myself in the mirror, right? The crazy stuff that actually worked. It wasn't until then that I started having confidence, and I told myself, hey, I was no longer going to be shameless about what I was doing. I was going to take pride. I was going to embrace what I was doing or what I was trying to do. I was going to embrace who I am. I was going to embrace what part of the journey I was on. I wasn't afraid to be like, hey guys, I'm new and I suck, but I'm going to get better. I wasn't afraid to do that anymore. I wasn't no longer trying to live up to anyone else's standards. I was who I was. I was where I was at on my journey, and I knew that I was progressing on my journey, and there was no shame in being at the struggle part because everyone goes to the struggle part in every part of their journey. Then those are the most valuable parts because you learn so many lessons. And I embraced it. I had confidence, and it's going to sound crazy, but I saw a direct relation to my trading. I was more confident in my analysis. I was no longer, is that a double top? That's a double top. Fibonacci. RSI is overbought, right? I was confident in what I was doing. And before you know it, my trading results started turning around. So confidence is key in everything. Don't be afraid of the embarrassment. If you got people that are going to make fun of you, they're not the right people for you. All right. Real quick, Dwayne says, saw some of the accountability sessions. It was comforting to see a variety of traders from different backgrounds of all ages with different strategies, but the same love and interest for trading. Yeah, the accountability sessions are amazing. I think it's so cool to hear different stories from different people. I watch all of them. It always takes me back to my journey and where I was at. And there's so many lessons that can be learned from them too, because especially when you guys are on the journey, the path to becoming a consistently profitable trader, you're typically making the same mistakes, maybe in different ways. So it's really cool to hear tips because you're like, hey, I'm doing that too. Like maybe I should. So I think it's amazing. All right. Trade of the day. Let's hit in here. Real quick. How long did it take you to become a sustainable, profitable trader? 2 years, probably 3, or I should say 3 years, probably 2. I always say 3 years because I didn't until I had a year of profitability. Well, in my mind, I still don't see myself as a consistently profitable trader because for me, it's always like on a year-to-year basis. That's just kind of a trick I tell myself to motivate myself and not stay lazy. But what I wanted to see at the time is I wanted to see, in order to kind of call myself a consistently profitable trader, I needed to have my first fully profitable year. So I would say 2 years because that third year ended up being my profitable year, but I didn't technically count it until the year ended, if that makes sense. So 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. So it was about a year and a half trying on my own. And then about a year and a half after I actually got educated to become consistently profitable. So seemed like forever at the time. You look back, again, I'm doing this for 16 years. You look back, it's a very small blip. And I plan on doing this for much, 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 much longer. You know, when I look back in 40 years from now, it's going to be like, oh man, so I was consistently profitable for like 50 something years and struggled for 3 years. Ha ha! Just laugh at it, right? Because it's ridiculous. But at the time, it seemed like it's forever. Good question. All right. Mickle says Euro Aussie with the break on the hourly. Do we have a bullish rotation? So we're going to head to Euro Aussie. If you're hopping in, thanks for joining the live stream. You got kind of a dull day here today in the market. So we're probably going to have a short live room session as well. I did find out how to get my dark theme back on TradingView, which I was excited about. They hit it. My eyes were bleeding yesterday with the white screens. So let's see. Let's ask ourselves the question. Euro Aussie with the break on the hourly. hourly. Do we now have a bullish rotation, right? So the hourly is the standard that we're looking at here based on the trader's question. So let's look left. We're going to bring in my favorite tool again. I like doing it from scratch, my horizontal line tool. We're going to put it right at the highest close right here. Boom. And we're going to look left and we're going to ask ourselves, did we break and close above structure? Right? Look left, structure these clues. Now, the cool thing about this is, right, if you guys are new, we understand that subjectivity exists in trading. There's no way to avoid that unless you're fully mechanical. Excuse me. Speaking of mechanical, started watching the Umbrella Academy again last night. The Mechanical Mom reminded me of that. But we want our rules to be as black and white as possible. So we have rules about rotations and trends and whatnot. Like, what is a violation? What is not a violation? There should be no subjectivity there. It should be, yes, it is a violation, or no, it's not a violation. And in this case, this is our previous high, right? We have a break and close above that. Or I guess I should ask you guys this. Do we have a break and close above that level? The answer is yes. So yes, that does put us into a bullish rotation. Now, a bullish rotation, what that means, if you guys are new to the terminology, a bullish rotation means that the previous trend, the bearish trend, has been violated. It does not mean that we are in a bullish trend, because we need that 3-point move to be in a bullish trend. But it does mean that the previous trend is violated, and we're kind of in that in-between land where it's like, hey, we could be starting to form the new trend. We could go into consolidation. George says, but we are in a bullish trend according to the hourly. Well, it's going to depend on how you read the trend, because technically, I don't think, and I haven't looked at this on the hourly in a while, but I don't think did we? Oh, we did break and close. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, so we were already in a bullish trend. Correct. I thought we held here. That was on the 4-hour. On hourly, we did break and close here, which makes our new structure low here, which makes our previous outside return here. So we were already in a bullish trend. Correct, George? Yeah. You guys know I do my top-down analysis from a higher time frame, so I'm used to the 4-hour, which we did break in the 4-hour as well. So yeah, we were already in a bullish trend here. But if we weren't, that would be a rotation because we broke that level. Now, did you have a follow-up question on that, Mikkel? About here on the hourly, what is the next move? What can you do now? So here's what would the next move would be, in my opinion, right? So you have the new structure high here. We have the market pulling back. Look left, structure leaves clues. We have pulled back to a previous level of structure. So 2 opportunities here. Is the daily more powerful? Yes. The higher the time frame you go, the more power. Maybe powerful is not the right word. The less noise is there, the more trustworthy it is. So for me personally, I use the daily as my higher time frame, and then I go down to the 4-hour and the hourly. Again, you don't have to do that. You can use whatever you can use. If you're going to use, you can either use multiple time frame analysis or not use multiple time frame analysis. If you do use multiple time frame analysis, you can use whatever time frames you want. The key is you want to be consistent. I personally use the daily. I go daily, 4-hour, hourly, but you can go hourly 15-5. You can go 4-hour, 2-hour, 30-minute, right? It doesn't really matter as long as you're consistent in doing it. My belief is, though, you want to use a higher time frame to identify a trend. That's your I part of the IPDE process: identify, predict, decide, execute. You want to use your higher time frame to identify what the market is doing. That includes the trend. That includes the recent levels of structure. You want to use that higher time frame to make your predictions. Are we likely to go up? Are we likely to go down? If we're likely to go up, where to? If we're likely to go down, where to? Then you want to go down to your lower time frame to decide, okay, now that I have this bias, this confirmation bias of what direction the market is in, where I think the market's likely to go to, then you use that lower time frame to kind of pinpoint your areas to get involved in the trade. So you become like a sniper and you're waiting for specific zones and specific things to get involved in the trade. That's how I like to do it. But again, everyone is different. You want to find what's right for you. But what I would do here is this, right? You saw the violation here. You want to ask yourself, and again, this is something that you would do on a higher time frame. You want to ask yourself, where is the next stopping point, right? We just violated this level of structure, right? Nice little structure swap here as well. Where is the next stopping point? Meaning, where is the next area that I would expect price to go to if we go higher, right? A few different ways you can do that. We'll keep it short for the live stream here, but if we're just looking at structure levels, right? You got an inside level of structure right here, not anything too relevant. The next level that stands out to me is going to be right here around 155.70s. Right? You guys see this level in here? This zone where you have structure support, break, resistance, this little structure swap. That would be, excuse me, the next level in which I would predict price is likely to go to. So I'd put that on my radar, right? And again, usually we're doing this process backwards. We're starting here and then we're going down, but we kind of worked opposite to answer the trader's question. So it's a little bit confusing. Although I would say this, I told you guys I put out the poll question yesterday on social media about how do you do your multiple time frame, or how do you do your analysis? Do you do higher time frame to lower time frame? Excuse me. Do you do lower time frame to higher time frame or single time frame? There was a trader out there that responded. It was a pretty cool response. He said that he was always taught higher time frame analysis, but recently he's been doing lower time frame up, and he's found it to be very beneficial. Meaning he starts on the lower time frame with kind of his idea, and then he works up to confirm that idea. Does that make sense, guys? I know it's going to sound a little bit weird because I think 77% of the people do top down. But he's doing bottom up. But it really doesn't make a difference. As long as you're not entering a trade and then finishing your analysis, I don't see it as a problem. So we're kind of doing that here. But yeah, there's movement to the upside. So the two choices are this: going back down to your hourly time frame, right? This is your trend continuation play. This is your trend continuation play, where this is your pullback. This is your previous level of structure, or your first level of structure. Look for a buying opportunity here. Sorry, the voice is dying today already. Look for a buying opportunity here, right? Meaning your signal, your reason for entry. And then look to trade this up for a continuation trade. And this could be one that you trail all the way up to our green line here. If you're someone that's looking to get short, well, potential head and shoulders, right? You got a left shoulder here. You've got a head right here, small extension, not a very significant break, right? We do have a break of structure, but it's a weak break, which isn't a very powerful sign. Look for a failed extension, a violation of the neckline. Horrible neckline there. I apologize, but nope, it's not even better. Wait for a violation of the neckline, and then a chance to trade it down. So two opportunities there on the Euro Aussie. One, a continuation opportunity, which has a lot of legs. Again, we're trading at 152, and we're looking for a move to 155, so 300 plus pips there. Or if this does end up being kind of a fake out, and we end up getting a head and shoulders, which is a classic reversal pattern, it's an opportunity to trade it back to the downside. Mickey says, Greystone last chance continuation strategy on the 15 question mark. You got me. I'm not sure what the last chance continuation strategy is, but it's a pullback trade here on the hourly. Yeah. So yeah, this is a pullback. It's at the bottom of that structure level. This is your pullback trade, correct? If you get your reason for entry. And if you're allowed to go down to the 15. again, you identify, predict on the higher time frame. We identified the violation of recent structure, the new structure high. We predicted that there was room to the upside. We predicted where that room to the upside was. Now we go down to our lower time frame. We need to decide how we need to enter the trade. This is where your trade plan is going to come in handy. Do you go to the hourly? Do you go to the 15? What do you need? Do you need the RSI to be overbought? Do you need hidden diversions? Do you need the RSI to be inside a certain zone? Do you need a specific candlestick formation? What is your reason for entry? Right? Now it's the simple part. Now it's waiting for all the things that you require in your trading plan. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about how or when you should enter. If you ever have to ask yourself a question about how do I get involved, you don't have a trading plan. So the answer is you shouldn't get involved. Because if you don't have a trading plan, you shouldn't be trading. So if you ever have to ask yourself the question, how do I get involved in this trade? The answer is don't. Because if you have a trading plan, you shouldn't need to ask yourself that question. Jacko says, silver breaking head and shoulders on the 4 hour. Is it best to wait for the retest? That's going to all depend on your rules, Jacko. What type of head and shoulders trader are you? Do you trade the aggressive break or do you trade the pullback? And once again, as I just mentioned, right, if you don't know the answer is what? If you have to ask, should I trade the breakout or the retest? The answer is don't trade, because it's obviously that setup or how to trade that setup. The final product is not included in your trading plan. So the answer is do not trade it. Because we know if breakouts, and we look at the head and shoulders as this as well, there's 3 ways to trade, right? You can trade, we can trade the shoulder aggressively, the right shoulder. We can trade the breakout of the neckline. We can trade the retest of the neckline. All right. So if your answer is the retest, and I hate to sound like I hate sounding like this because you guys, many of you guys are meeting me for the first time. So you're like, man, this guy sounds horrible. But this is my style of teaching. We're rules-based traders. If your trading plan says you trade the retest, then that's what's best to trade. There shouldn't even be a question about, is it best to wait for the retest or yes, because that's what's in your trading plan. For someone else, it may be best to trade the breakout. For you, the answer is, what does my trading plan say? What does my trading plan say? Now, I'm take a quick look at silver because you mentioned it. Where is the... I'm trying to find the head and shoulders you're talking about. Is it... Let me know if this is... Is it this? Is this the head and shoulders you're mentioning, silver? Let me know. I'm having a little trouble seeing it, but let me know if this is it. If this is left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay. So I would say this, right? So if this is your head and shoulders pattern, now, first and foremost, for me, that's an iffy head and shoulders pattern. But that's going to be up to our eyes. More importantly, I would say this. Now, you've already had your confirmation of the pattern. You've already had your retest. So now the question is, are you going to trade another retest? A second retest? Are you allowed to trade a second retest, or have you missed the pullback opportunity? Now, the biggest part of answering that question is going to be from, where do you expect price action to go to? Like, where do you expect the ultimate destination to go to? And based off that ultimate destination, has the move already been made? Because we know if the move has already been made, what does that mean for our trading opportunity, guys? And I got to kick you guys off the live stream soon. This is supposed to be a short session. I'm sorry. You guys know my weakness of talking technical analysis, man. You start talking technical analysis, you've got me forever. So I got to kick you out soon, but 2098, okay? So if you still believe there's room to go to the downside, then yeah, if you get another pullback, you can certainly trade it, yeah. If the move has already been made, then you can't. So it looks like we haven't got to that area yet because we haven't broken 21. So I would go I think there's still an opportunity for you. I would say this, and live room members, you have any advice for this trader's target or expectation target is $20.98. $20.98. What would you advise? Put you guys a little test. What would you advise about that target level? Get a little free trading tip here. It's going to cost you a like. You got to hit that like button. This isn't free. This is called you pay in like coins. Yeah, like coins. That little thumbs up at the bottom of the screen. Those are called like coins. Give me all the like coins you can. Yep, wrong side of the even handles. If you can, if you're able to, I would get to 21 flat or like 2102, something like that. Even handle numbers are pretty powerful psychological numbers. So if you ever have a chance to get at or above them, it's worth it. All right. Real quick, answer one more question here. I'm kicking everyone out. Thanks, Akil, for always doing the rants loaded with nuggets. Thank you. Is there any hope for a small account like 1K in Forex? Yes. There is hope, because here's the thing, right? So if you have a chip in a chair, you can play the game, right? If you're at the poker table and you got $100 at the poker table, you can play, right? You can get chips. And if you get chips, you can play the game. And if you can play the game, you can lose it all, of course, which happens to most traders, but you can also win. So is there hope? Yes. Honestly, I don't like using the word. Here's another rant. Sheesh, I'm going to kick people out and I got another rant. I don't even like using the word hope, right? Hope is like you have no control, like you sit and pray. I don't like hope. Yeah, what type of hope are you looking for? So I wouldn't even use the word hope. Can you trade with a small account of $1,000? Yeah. As long as your broker allows you to. Now, is the question, can I trade with a $1,000 account and turn it into $100,000 in a year? No, hell no. But you can trade. And here's what I tell people, right? And again, when most people say, is there any hope for small accounts? The idea is like, can I take this account and again, grow it from 1,000 to 10,000 in a year? And my answer to that is no, you have the wrong expectations. But can you get started? Yes. And I just put out a thing this morning. I've been doing these things on TikToks, right? These little dances. No, just kidding. But these little things about kind of just like success and motivation. And I put out one today, or I'm going to put out one today that says, you just have to get started. And the thing is this, so many people wait for the perfect opportunity in life, no matter what it is in life, to do something, right? You don't want to do something until it's completely perfect. And reality is that perfect doesn't exist. You just have to get started. Because I can tell you this, right? Two things. One, you're not going to get your trading experience until you're trading live. Like, I hate to say it, right? You can go through all the courses, all the stuff we teach you, all the demo trading, all the back testing, right? You're not going to get your real experience of trading. And we spoke about this yesterday at the psychological stuff, until you're trading live. Would you guys agree? And you're probably, Duncan just mentioned this on the chat, you're probably going to lose money those first couple of years as well. Or if you can break even, you're doing great your first year. Right? Duncan says the size of your account in your first 2 years should be small so you can focus on your skill without risking your ability to build a trading business. Only add capital once you're profitable. Put savings aside, build your capital so when you're ready to cash it there. Boom. You took my rant, Duncan. You took my rant. But it's 100% true. At the beginning stages of your trading, you're most likely to make the most mistakes. Because that is the learning process. It's the same thing riding a bike. When you first learn how to ride a bike, you're most likely to fall the most. When you first learn how to shoot a basketball, you're likely to miss the most, right? Because you get better as you work on your skill. So the worst thing for a trader to do is start with a ginormous account, because you're probably trading a ginormous position size and you're losing much more money. So there are benefits to starting with a small account. One, your position size is so small that you're not really risking anything of value anyway. You're losing what, $1 per trade, maybe something like that. If you have $1,000 account, $10 a trade, maybe something like that, which is not going to hurt you too much. At least it shouldn't hurt you too much. But two, you're going to get the learning experience of trading live. And that learning experience is unmatched. But what you've done is if you started the learning cycle. So a year from then, you're getting better if you've worked on it, obviously, and you're starting to turn things around. And now you're starting to be in the place where you're consistently profitable. Now that $1,000 account is making money. Well, is it making a significant amount of life-changing money? No, it's not. But here's the thing about money, right? And some people get offended when I say this, right? Money is easy to make. TikTok is Akil Stokes RTM. Yep, so same handles as the rest of social media. Akil Stokes RTM. Money is the easiest thing to make, right? People don't like hearing that, but it is, right? Because if I want to make extra money right now, first of all, there are thousands of jobs hiring because jobs can't find enough employees. But I can be an Uber driver. I can do DoorDash. I could do funny dances on TikTok and monetize myself, right? The Naked Trading Channel. I'm sure that would get a lot of views, right? So once you have the formula down, which is being a consistently profitable trader, like Duncan mentioned, now the only question is, how can I do that with more capital? Like once you're good at trading, it is a money printing machine. Now the question is, how can I do it with more capital? So now the question goes from how can I get better at trading and become consistently profitable to boom, okay, I'm consistently profitable. How can I scale up? Same thing like a small business where you have a small business with a really good business plan that's working well. How can I take it to the next level? And that's where you either get that money from saving money during that year or 2-year journey of struggling. That's where you start. You can take out loans if you want to take that route, personal or private. You can tighten the belt on your personal finances and get a job and say, hey, I'm gonna dedicate the next year to working and grinding as much as I can and put everything extra into this trading account until that trading account gets to the point where it compounds enough that it's making some significant profit. So is $1,000 enough to get started with? Yeah. You just have to get started. But the expectations have to be right. It can't be, I'm going to get started and I'm going to be a millionaire in a year, because then you're going to blow money. Like you're going to go broke in 2 months. I guarantee it. But if you're in it for the long run, if you're saying, hey, you know what? This is a 5-year plan. This is a 10-year plan, because I told you 10 years goes quick. I just told you I was consistently profitable for 10 years. But more than that, I've been teaching for 10 years, consistently profitable for what, 14 years? 13 years, I think. Like it goes quick. It seems like yesterday I was doing dumb stuff, trying to trade non-farms blindfolded. It goes quick. So we'll be here before you know it, but only if you get started. So yes, you can get started. Obviously, just be smart about it. Have the right expectations. That's the key, right, guys? Have the right expectations. It's funny, we see, and not to make this a shameless plug, but obviously we coach traders here at Tier 1 Trading, right? And the most successful traders that we see are the ones that sign up for the annual membership. Can anyone guess why that is? And I promise I'll kick you guys out after this. I promise I'll boot you from the room, just like I said 10 minutes ago. Why is that? Why do the ones that typically sign up for the annual membership, meaning they lock themselves in for a year, why do you think they typically have the best results? Is it because we give them a secret bonus trading program that no one else gets? The back door of the website? Who can guess why it is? Because the fact that they've committed to a year, they've already set the expectations. For those who come in for a month, we get people that are like, and everyone's a different situation. We get people that are in there for a month where it's like, hey, Akil, that's all I could afford. All I could afford is a month. I'm in here for a month. And you get people for a month and they try to do everything in that 1 month to become a super trader. And they rush through, they ignore stuff, they don't practice stuff, they think they can just get through all the content and boom. And it doesn't work that way. It's not enough time. The ones that dedicate themselves to a year, they've set the expectations. They've already told themselves, look, I'm not going to be good for at least a year. So now that there's no pressure where I have to do it all in a month, and I have a year to do it, and usually they renew for another year, they can do things the right way. They can do slow and steady, and they can take their time learning. They can take their time developing. They can take their time testing. They can take their time demo trading. They can take their time live trading. Because they've already said, hey, and we've seen this in a lot of accountability sessions, like, hey, my goal is to be profitable 2 years from now. And some of you guys look at that, you're like, what? Why would anyone say that? But if you've ever been a business owner, right? If you've ever been a business owner, the goal of the first year is to stay in business. The goal of a trader in their first year should be don't go broke, in my opinion. Man, if you can be break even after your first year, you're doing good. Because 90% of traders are done in 90 days. Did you guys know that? 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days of trading. Big picture. Think big picture. Easier said than done. Learning curve is different for everyone. Some people have much more experience coming in and they go quicker. Some people take a little bit more time. And so everyone is different. So it's not locked into this period. But the point is, give yourself time and do things the right way. And have the right expectations. And the path may be a little bit longer, but it'll be a lot less expensive. And you'll actually get to the finish line instead of most people who don't. So, good talk. Good talk for a nothing in the market Thursday that feels like a Friday. Thank you guys for joining me. Live streamers, we're going to kick you out. Live roomers, we're going to look around the market and see what we can find here. Hit that like button on the way out. Remember, like coins. Hit those like coins. Pay me money. Got bills to pay. Kids to feed. Oh, 2 growing boys. Oh. But I appreciate it. I'll see you guys hopefully this weekend for a trading edge. I was gone last weekend, but I was volunteering